Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is, of course, Comics News Today, and we're really excited to have you guys come and join us. As usual, we have ourselves the absolute wrong icon I put up. Oh, well. But thanks, guys, for coming in here. We do appreciate it. Once again, as we always, when we start the show, check out all the links down below. Not only do we have the fan speak, we also have a link to the mailing list for Dinale's Immortal Mask, which is coming eventually. He's going to show us something, but he's definitely kind of keeping us at arm's length, but it's all right. And all the other things we have down there, we'd love for you guys to be involved with that. Also, keep in mind that we are live streamers, so please hit that share button and let your family and friends and extended community know what's going on so they can join us. But other than that, we have ourselves some news here before in a couple hours. Of course, we have the Blacklist Universe's Drawn and Quartered, which is a lot of fun. Of course, Jiminy Cricket is going over there from the fan edition with his great piece. And once again, justice for Rick, I guess. I will have to point at Pixel and blame him.
I will wrench people.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. you were bopping people on the
I
head
was
yesterday.
not playing with these
No,
guys. I ain't playing with them no more.
no.
I will find you. I will find your house, and I will bop you with a wrench
There you
on the
go.
head.
There you go. But yeah, no, they're certainly running with that, having fun. And Nick W, first thing out, first person in here, has a great comment. He says, "I sure hope the guys look at Brie Larson's Instagram today." We did, dude. I don't have that up to cover. We could cover that a little bit before we get into the news, I guess. I guess the thing is Disney decided that it was a really smart idea to bring Brie Larson into their Galaxy's Edge because it's doing so poorly to try to drum up business. So they had her walking around and in a Jedi outfit and doing all the stuff and her Instagramming, "Yay, I love Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars forever." And
I love Star Wars. My favorite character is Picard. It's so cute.
yeah, right. But this was just a publicity stunt. I don't know who over at Disney thought that would be a smart idea, but they did. And of course, Brie Larson is just one of the most hated people I've seen in Hollywood in a long time. It is funny. I kind of wonder, is there actual sexism involved? Because Chris Evans is much worse than Brie Larson. I mean, let's be fair. That dude is a toxic hole, right? But no one talks about him very much. Whereas Brie Larson, anything she says or breathes or utters brings just hostility down. Is it simply because Chris Evans is a good actor and she's not? Do you think it's that simple?
I think
Absolutely.
we're far more forgiving with Chris Evans because he's nice to look at, he's pretty, and he plays his role well, And I don't think he says a lot of stupid crap, but I don't feel like Brie Larson is just a black hole of charisma. She's just
Well,
so unlikable through
well, that's
Yeah,
every
true.
point of her being. So
Chris,
I
Chris,
know it makes you question it sometimes, right? It's like, is it just because she's a woman? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
That
fair
happens
question.
sometimes, right?
Well,
Chris
she
Evans is
is.
a terrific actor. Absolutely terrific.
He is. He is.
I
Yeah.
rewatched the Fantastic Four 2005, 2007, and he really nails it as Johnny Storm. And I couldn't even associate him to Captain America. I mean, he was that good. And he's done a
Yeah.
lot of other great movies.
Well,
And I think that's
Snowpiercer was
that's why
pretty
we're
good. Yeah,
forgiving him.
I agree.
I think that's why we're forgiving him because he is good at his job.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking. Maybe that's what it is because she's obviously not good. I haven't seen her in many things, but what little I've seen of her, it's just not good. I mean, it's very not good. And of course, I can't blame her for the writing. I mean, but I mean, what are you thinking? You have her basically as a cameo in Endgame, and she said, "Well, it's because you didn't have me." Is this really what you think a hero would say? I mean,
Yes, yes, it would.
Hmm.
but it was such
Well,
bad
when I
writing.
see Chris Evans say "thank you very much," then we'll talk about how crappy Chris Evans is. Until
All right.
then, Brie Larson's just the worst.
Well, and now it's an interesting fair point because I have seen Chris Evans say a lot of ridiculous stuff, actually. But yet, Tom Holland, I've only seen one thing out of his mouth, and that was recently. And he might have said more, but it's the only one I saw, and that pissed me off.
Mm.
That pissed
I
me
want to
off.
slap the crap out of him as well. Stupid.
No,
Talk
really.
about ungrateful.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You
Exactly.
know,
There it is.
you get to
Ungrateful.
play Spider-Man. one of the greatest heroes ever created, and you're just gonna shit on the character, Stanley's legacy, like that, for some woke points, for some pat on the head by some fat lesbianic feminist. Get out of here, you little. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Booster, what are you trying to say?
Well,
Spit it
no,
out, man.
because it irked me a lot more than Chris Evans, which is weird. Because I think Tom has done a good job as Spider-Man. It's not Spider-Man; it's Miles Morales, obviously. But I mean, it really irked me. And Nick W says, "Shut your mouth, Chester. Bree is the realness." Well, dude, I would literally kick her out of the bed. So you have it. Have at it. No, no, no ums and ahs for that one. They let me have that one, huh? All right.
Yeah, that's a little weak, man. Try again.
Try. Oh, try again. All right, fine. Challenge me. Then you'll see what happens. All right.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Did you say wouldn't kick her out of bed? Because I would.
I would definitely kick her out of bed.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
ain't
but then
having none of that.
she's part of this trend to have the very unattractive girl because of the male
Her
gaze, I
stunt
guess.
double, however.
Well, the stunt doubles were older
Mm,
and better. I thought it was
mhm,
interesting
mhm.
also that they had older stunt doubles for her. I thought there was something interesting about that.
That look far more attractive.
Right, right. But like for instance, I mean, we could pick any movie we'd like, but I think a good example. We have one today, which I'll mention later. But as far as this theme goes, but there was a movie that came out and it was called Wish Upon. It's one of those movies that's so bad it's just worth going at and laughing at the entire time as a comedy. It's one of those really bad movies. And the lead girl literally looks like she's like a half a Down syndrome, literally. And this is their lead. Not picking on the Down syndrome because I mean, actually, we have one. My brother adopted a person with that, but she literally looks like that. And it's kind of like what they did with Squirrel Girl. It's got that kind of look, right? And it's like this is your leading lady, the short, scrunchy, no neck, eyes too close actress. This is what you're doing, and of course they put her in a couple of movies actually. It's weird what the hotness is right now. All these young actors we keep seeing pop up in movies, and they're like, really? This is what you get. This is the best you got there, Hollywood. Really? Really, Ray Thulu says Booster Rage is yummy. Mhm.
I did
He
get a little
says
hot.
I wouldn't kick Bree out of bed. Why pass up a good smothering opportunity? Oh wow.
Thank you very much.
Oh goodness
Yeah.
gracious. I didn't know you go there, Ray. Man. But anyway, let's jump over the news and get into it today.
Yeah.
Let me, oh, I always do that. I got to do this first. Goodness gracious.
Clip, clip, clip.
Chester.
Tap,
Yeah.
tap, tap.
I had
Chester,
someone else the other day once again say my name sounds like a cartoon. What is up with this? Huh? Huh?
you sound like you really do sound like a bear character from a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Come on now.
Chester the bear.
Chester C. Busby the third sounds like cartoon. Really? Is
Absolutely. Wow, I'm Chester C. Busby the third. Come on, Booster, let's go get a picnic basket. He's like, well, yes. No, something like that, you know?
That was pretty good, Booster. That's a good job, dude. I like that. I claps for the booster. Claps for the booster. That was pretty good. That
Yeah.
was pretty good.
I love being
Whatever.
pretty good.
Okay,
That's about as high
we're
as I can achieve.
Don't get claps, but plaques for.
all right. Let's get into this one. I thought this was an interesting little story. Go ahead, Denali.
Yeah, it's from Newsarama. They're asking, was this the real reason DC and Bendis changed Superboy's age? And basically, the article is talking about the super legions of hero
Yeah.
that
Okay,
they're relaunching.
if the
And
article just doesn't say because Bendis is an idiot, the article's inaccurate.
Okay, I think it's a little deeper than that, but
I
no.
don't think it is.
Basically, what the article is saying is they wanted to bring back the Justice League, right, or something like that. A little bit wasn't quite Justice League; it was something else.
super
Legion of
legion.
Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes,
A
Jesse.
Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, thank you. But
yes.
and I suppose there could be something to that, but we know why. We know exactly why he did this. It's because Dan Didio is in charge, and Dan Didio has a list of things he thinks that comic books should not be, superhero comics books should not be, and on that list is no kids. right? He also thinks that superheroes shouldn't be married. He has this whole list of things that he thinks a superhero should be, and damn it, what you think, because he's the boss and he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. That's what it comes down to, because Bendis and Tom King are his thugs. That's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly who they are. This
You
has
know the
nothing to do
diversity
with
conversation
anything,
we come back to.
huh?
We always keep going back to talking about diversity, right? But we never talk about, but we always talk about diversity in the means of race, right? Because for some reason we come to talk about the word diversity meaning race. But when I think of diversity, I just think of all sorts of different things. Like, say, we could have all sorts of different characters, like a character that's married, a character that has a kid, a character that's a single father. We used to have all these things in DC, but Didio just keeps knocking them out of there. And he can't just have one example, right? He
No.
can't let us just have one example of these, a married superhero or a kid superhero. None of it. None of it. He has to homogenize all of it, and it's deeply frustrating, right?
No, it is. And Nick W's right. Dan Didio did the same thing to Chris Kent. And also, guys, I see we got 10 or so of you in here. If you guys hit that share button, we'd really appreciate it. But yeah, no, this is just his agenda. And the thing with it is, though, on the other side, Dan Didio obviously isn't a crazy identity politics person. He's not. He isn't. But he has his own idea of things, and he'd be damned if he doesn't do what the hell he wants to do. And this is what's causing some problems. And it's really unfortunate to me. I mean, I understand Bendis being a hit guy, hit man, a thuggish type person, because that's what he is. He is a thug unto himself. Tom King, I think, is being manipulated, though, because Tom King obviously has something going on in his brain, and Didio is just using him. It's pretty obvious because we have seen Bendis been doing this forever, right? Where Tom King used to have some pretty good work. I mean, we joked at Booster when he was defending
Yeah.
Tom King in the beginning, but we were just joking because he's right.
It's because I legitimately did like some of the things Tom
Oh
King was
no,
putting
so did
out,
I.
and then he just put out crap after crap,
Well,
and then
because
I couldn't defend the guy anymore. I dropped
yeah,
Batman and I picked up Detective Comics instead.
he got co-opted. And the
Mm,
thing that kills me with this is the Super Sons was one of the most successful books they've had in a long time. People love the Super Sons, right? And then he just no, it's not. It doesn't fit within his formula. No, we got to get rid of it. It's ridiculous. You take a successful thing and you get rid of it. It's dumb. It's dumb. But then again, there's a lot of stupidity going on, and there's no oversight. A lot of times we don't like oversight because suits get in the way. But then again, you need some oversight. So it's like I don't know, where's that happy medium? Where's that middle ground? I'm not sure. But this is a perfect example of it, and it is what it is. It's done. Now we have teenage Superboy, and he's going to be running around doing his super team stuff. I mean, fine. But I don't know. Is Superman and Lois back together yet? Probably not.
I'm
Anything?
pretty sure Jor-El shagged her.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Did
but
you
but
see the look on his face as he took Lois Lane and Wee Boy away from Clark Kent? He was like, "Yeah, yeah, you're going to get cucked, boy.
well, they did cuck him out in that scene for sure. And I thought
Absolutely cucked him." Thank you,
absolutely.
Bendis.
And I'm also kind of wondering because it's not like Kal-El has had the greatest relationship with Jor-El, right? I mean, it's not like they're the best of buddies and oh, daddy. It's not like that because Kal-El finds Jor-El's methods to be too mercurial, right? He does not. Superman does not agree with the way his dad goes about stuff. He doesn't.
We have
Um,
to remember Jonathan Kent is his father, not Jor-El.
well, you know what I mean.
Mm.
You understand what
That,
I'm saying.
well, I know what you meant, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that Jor-El might be his daddy, but that's his father, right? His
Sure,
father figure. That's the man who raised him.
that's
Not
right,
Kent.
and
They have
that's
very different personalities.
And that's a big point of why he is
Mm.
so good. And that was one of the big things that Schneider didn't get when he did the Man of Steel thing. Superman would never do that, and because Jonathan Kent would never be like that. The Jonathan Kent they put in that movie is so far removed from what he should be or is, that that's just stuck out to me strong. I mean, people, most of the complaints I heard about Man of Steel was, oh, they destroyed too much of the city. Superman would have took it away. Yeah, that's true, but that wasn't even close to the first thing in my head. Him telling him to let kids die on a bus, to let him die, to Superman
Maybe.
stealing clothing on the back of a car. These are the things that are not Superman, right? I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah, Superman is the ultimate Hulk
No, not
superhero.
no. I mean, if we were playing devil advocate, we're saying yes, but Snyder has his interpretation of his film as a filmmaker. We should respect that.
No, we shouldn't.
But no,
Snyder's an idiot. He
but
actually
again,
thinks
but again,
Batman kills people.
Right.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. If we actually were playing devil advocate, that would be the thing, which we're not. So we're not disagreeing with anything you're
Yeah, I
saying
know. I know.
at this
I know.
point. Yeah.
The unfortunate thing about it was, if it had been written properly, that would have been a great, I think it would have been an instant classic if they got that right, because the special effects were beautiful, wonderful, right? And actually,
Right.
Kevin Costner is playing Jonathan Kent. I think that would have, Pa Kent. I think that would have been great. He's perfect for the role, actually. It had
I
nothing to do
was
with
expect
him.
I was expecting Dreams of Feel um portrayal
Yeah, no,
because he
so was
played
I.
that
I
that
mean,
yeah.
he just did what he was told to do. Actually, my
Oh yeah.
favorite Pa Kent so far, actually, was I can't remember his name. I think he's got like a Schneider type of name, but it was in Smallville. The that blonde actor that uh,
Jonathan Schneider, I believe. Yeah.
whatever, yeah, something like that. But that
Mm.
hunka actor, but
Mhm.
he was great as Pa Kent. I was perfect, right? But anyway, Smallville actually, for all its flaws, simply because it's a TV show, it was actually a really good interpretation of Superman, I think. Anyway, there's that. George, you got anything to add before we move on?
Now, it's kind of weak. They're grasping. Um, there's, it just
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
It
right.
doesn't.
Thanks, Nick.
There's no excitement. I didn't hear any excitement from anybody here talking about this.
Well, because it's not exciting. It's nonsense. We know why he aged him up. It's not, don't give us don't lie. Stop lying. Why you always
Yeah,
lying?
but this whole aging up troop, so to speak, has been going on in comics for a very long time. A very long time. They did it with Kitty Pryde. They did it with was it Miss Marvel's child, all in one comic book. Um,
We don't
ev-
talk about that.
No. Well,
every kid. They did it with Franklin. Every kid that is born in the Marvel universe, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, or in DC universe too, whatever reason, they're aged 10 years instantly.
Exhibit A, Power Pack.
Oh, good God, yes.
But yeah, no, it's ridiculous. But it's also what they're doing over here. We saw them do the same thing with Spider-Man. What these SJWs have done to Spider-Man, and I think the average person, the normie that doesn't read comics, they could see it in the Spider-Verse, right? In the Into the Spider-Verse movie. Now I agree, the special effects in that movie were great. What a fun animation they made there. Wonderful,
Oh,
right?
you finally seen it?
I did. My wife made me watch it.
Ah,
At the same time,
oh,
it stands out exactly why I didn't want to watch it because I was right. Yeah. I don't need diversity Spider-Man. But the older Peter in that, the only Peter who survived, because they killed Peter twice in that movie. They killed him twice, right? Not once, twice, right? But then they have this other Peter, and he's the broke, divorced from Mary Jane loser, absolute bumbling loser that the modern Marvel has created Peter Parker out of. And it's they can't stand it. Can't have a wife, can't have happiness. Got to be all angsty and anger and losery all around the place. And of course, it comes down to the simple fact that they must destroy Spider-Man because he's the face of
okay.
Marvel. Because damn it, if Captain Marvel is not going to be the face, and they keep pushing it, they keep relaunching over and over, and they won't stop because if, as far as they're concerned, Carl Manvers is the man.
I'm not totally sure that's true because what they did with that was they had the ideal superhero Peter Parker the first inspire Miles Morales, right, and then have this new Spider-Man to mentor him. In contrast to just for a comedic effect, I guess like
Uh,
he
I,
could have
I,
had like this incredible Spider-Man as a mentor, but he got this bumbling loser instead, who's like his alternate version of Spider-Man. Yeah, that wasn't
no,
the main
that
Spider-Man. You
was
understand?
the main Spider-Man. The one who died is
I
the
don't think so.
Ultimate Universe's Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah,
The
maybe
main
true.
Spider-Man was the one who came through. That was the
Mm-hmm.
main Peter Parker. They made that very clear, dude. And then
You
I
think so?
have no clue what this little Japanese girl jumping around in some mech was. I don't know where the hell that came from.
It was one of the
It's,
comics, I believe.
yeah, one of the
Yes,
spin-off.
yeah.
Yeah. But you do notice also that the only one of them who was perfect at everything they did, Spider-Gwen,
Well,
right?
obviously,
Obviously. And what the hell is this creepy lady as Doc Ock? What are you doing, right?
I thought that was a
Whatever.
pretty good twist. You kidding me? I thought like the movie's great.
Um,
I
I
really loved it.
I think the movie is beautifully made, but I think it's an absolute travesty, actually,
Ah,
because
ah.
you're not seeing the politic that's right in front of you, dude. There was a ton of politic in that
Yeah,
movie,
because
dude.
you're looking at it and nitpicking at it. I just glazed over and let it go past me, and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Well, how can I glaze over the fact that they kill Peter by having Kingpin of all people, crush him? Which the Kingpin character was that animation wasn't good. Although overall, that's a 9 out of 10 for damn sure. But and then they
Mhm.
kill Peter kind of in a way off screen in Gwen Stacy's world as well. They literally killed Peter twice and then gave us this bumbling loser, fat, once again, Thor fat, Spider Man. That's
Right.
exactly what they did. You don't think that's politic? You don't think that's in your face trying to tear down the Spider Man character in order to build up Miles Morales? Really?
No, because I also felt like he got built up during the movie as well. I think felt he had his own arc as he became Miles's mentor. He bettered himself during the movie as well.
Did he? Where?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while.
I just saw it, and that didn't happen at all. He
What are you
gave
talking
up in
about?
the end and let the kid take the responsibility. But of course, all the
And I'm pretty
Spider-Mans
sure
raised their hand to die because that's
didn't
what
he go to
Spider-Man
get
does.
back to get his wife by the end of that movie? I can't recall.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
did. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. It's nice. He
And
got his confidence
and
back. Get out of
yeah,
here, Chester. Yep.
and he accepted that Miles Morales was going to be Spider-Man.
Hmm.
So he trusted Miles Morales. That was part of his arc as
Yep,
well. That he
these
wasn't alone.
millennials I'm surrounded by. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Um,
All right.
You
All right.
look. You were just finding excuses to not
no,
like it.
dude,
Get
it
out
was
of here.
blatant. It was blatant
Oh my
nonsense. That movie is
goodness.
full of
Um,
SJW crap, and I can't believe you guys didn't notice it. But anyway, Nick
I,
W says Dukes of Hazzard
yeah,
can
to
absolutely
nitpick
love
at
the
it.
Dukes of Hazzard, and you're right. That's who that guy comes from. And Nick W Into the Spider Verse did more with Miles Morales than Bendis did in 7 years. Yeah, I think Miles Morales was handled quite well actually. But it just comes down to it for me. I don't need diversity Spider-Man. I have no need for it. I got Spider-Man. I got the entire run of it, actually. Turtle Rabbit says the problem is that the more and more type of Spider-Man women you make, the less special Spider-Man becomes. It's lame. I agree with
I can
that.
understand that.
But at
I
the
can
same
understand that. Yeah.
time, well, yeah, no, absolutely. But at the same time, you do have Spider Gwen, which makes sense. It makes sense actually. You have the you got the Noir one. You got the Spider Ham, of course, is a classic. I don't know about the little Asian girl, but that's fine. You have the Latino guy who does the future one. You had Silk. They're all different. They all have their own names. They're spider related, but they have their own thing going on. Miles is the only one that they've stuck with that is Spider Man, right? But
right.
anyway, what is Pixel yelling at me about here? Chester, evil grin. Uh-oh. He sent me a
He's done
link.
another one of his little
He's
cover
sending
crashes.
me a link. Uh-oh. I
Doing
clicked it.
evil
It better
things.
not be porn. All right, here we go.
It is.
Graveyard shit. Ah, Pixel.
This is just naughty.
Goodness gracious. All right, fine. Moving on.
All right.
Moving on. We're moving on.
What is this one, Dinale?
I didn't choose this one.
Oh, this must have been Somali's or somebody else's.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and read it anyway.
Hmm.
Marvel Studios joins Comic Con International San Diego Hall H lineup. Hey, they're back after not being there
Couple of
the year
years, yeah.
before.
That was a weird move
Yeah.
that they made with that, but I'm glad they're back, I guess. But Comic Con has become quite a memeable thing recently, so we'll see how this year is. But this there's not much here. It says the official schedule of Comic Con International San Diego. It's interesting how they threw international on there. Has added a presentation from Marvel Studios to take place in the notorious Hall H on Saturday evening of the convention. Here's a description of the event, for which the only announced guest is Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. Sweet. Marvel Studios presents and president and producer Kevin Feige, and surprise panelists provide an inside look at the ever expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe. It actually would be interesting to watch that on YouTube after it's done, to see exactly where they're going. Because to be fair, Kevin has been very vague about what's coming in the future. I mean, people keep saying, "Oh, the future is horrible." Well, we don't know actually. We don't have an actual lineup. I've seen a lot of YouTubers speculating, and they might well be right. But I want to see. I think we'll get some more information at that, and I'm glad they're back. But I watch Comic Con every year. How about you guys?
Yep.
No, I don't think I've ever watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I do. There's a lot of YouTubers that go and they walk around and they show up because Comic Con is over here in San Diego is a lot better than the one I went to. But it's cool to see a lot of the new toys that come out, video game related stuff, movies. It is fun to see all that kind of stuff that goes on. I'm not sure that. Comic Con is standing up against, say, an E3 or a Gen Con anymore. They still have more people, but it seems to me that, particularly with like Gen Con, that is absolutely just knocking the doors off of it. Have you guys ever been to a Gen Con?
Nope.
Nope.
What's Gen Con exactly?
Gen
That's
Con is the second large. Well, actually, I think it's the largest now. The first or second largest tabletop gaming convention in the world. They do board games, they do tabletop role playing games, everything related, and it's just a lot of fun. There's lots of stuff. There's a lot of things to go actual to shop and buy. There's lots of kind of Hall H type of stuff with the things that are coming up. We've mentioned here that board games are going through a golden age. They certainly are, and they've got over 65,000 people show up. Now I understand that's literally 10 times smaller than this Comic Con here, but it's getting bigger and bigger, and the people going are fully invested. I think the biggest is still in Essen, Germany, for that kind of thing, but Comic Con's getting close. I'm a nerd. I do apologize, Booster.
You should apologize.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pixel says he's going to the con to see the Alterna thing instead. Oh, cool. So Peter's doing got himself a hall and doing a speak, or got himself a booth or something. That's nice. Yay, they're back, still not attending. Thanks, Pixel. But yeah, that should be cool. They have a lot of these things over at Comic Con where they talk about all manner of stuff. It's fun. Anyway, we were just talking about Smallville earlier, and here we have a much lesser, unwanted version of it. Go ahead, Dinale.
right from Bounty into Coming. Jesse Eisenberg, who played had the infamous portrayal of Lex Luthor,
Lenny Luthor.
or any Luthor to that matter, was told by a reporter that, hey, what do you think about what's your thoughts about Justice 2 being canned? And he was like, what do you mean? Yeah, you didn't hear? It's canned, it's canceled. Nobody told him that it was canned. Basically, a
Oh,
journalist revealed
I
that
thought we all kind of
it was
assumed.
yeah, that's true.
right.
Well,
Yeah, but
this of course is Batman versus Superman when they introduced this character, really. But this is certainly the worst representation of Lex Luthor I have ever seen. It wasn't even close to being what Lex Luthor is. I don't, but the whole that whole movie with Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. It's just a complete lack of understanding of the characters. People keep telling me, "Oh, they were just trying to remake it. They were trying to put a new twist on it." I don't think so. I think they just really didn't understand what they were dealing with, as we see happen a lot. Because we've seen Lex Luthor done very well in many ways, including what I was just talking about, Smallville. The guy playing Lex Luthor in there did a really good job, and it was an origin story too. But that was a good Lex Luthor. But honestly, you go back to the old Justice League cartoon. I'm talking about the old one, and Lex Luthor was done better in that than this. And those were literally the little blocky, one cell moving type of animation, and it was better than this. So I don't know what to tell you, man. But this guy, I don't know. Is there anything he's done you like?
You see Eisenberg, Zombieland?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I did like Zombieland, but I liked it mainly because of the Cheers guy there.
Woody
What's his name, George? Woody
Woody
Allen.
Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody
Woody
Harrelson.
ha-
Woody
Woody
Allen. My
Harrelson.
Woody
God,
Allen.
that would have been funny though. Well, okay, well there's zombies. Let me see.
Oh jeez, the
Maybe
zombies are coming. Someone, everybody, get down. Oh
And
no,
that's much better than
I'm
mine,
peeing
dude. Good job.
myself again.
that's the movie where he kills Bill Murray as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's so funny.
That was a funny movie though. The Search for the Twinkie. It's not. Pixel says he's not sure if Peter will be there, but the others representing Alterna will be. Oh, cool. That's cool. But yeah, this isn't much of a news, but it's like, all right, fine, whatever. I'm glad it's done.
What a shame.
What a shame. Now, what is this news from Salon? How dare you make me put Salon on my damn channel,
Oh,
Dinale?
dude, get that out.
Yeah.
Get that out. Skip this out. Get this out of here.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But this sounds serious though. Go ahead.
Well, basically, everybody heard about the bomb threat last year that Robert De Niro mentioned there was a bombing threat. What really has occurred, or more detail that had emerged, is that somebody sent him a pipe bomb during his first days of filming The Joker.
Is
So,
that
I
really
mean,
true though?
yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody gets a pipe bomb when
I
you're famous and get people angry
I,
enough.
I don't know if I believe that at all because if that were true, that would have made mainstream news, dude. There's no way. If someone sent a pipe bomb to Robert De Niro, it would have made every news channel that is alive. Salon, of course, and the problem is Salon. You have to take it with literally a ton of salt because everything they do is about
Mhm.
A
SJW
ton of salt?
politic. Everything.
Yeah.
It was a grain of salt because it's like less significant. A ton of salt. That sounds like a lot of salt.
Yeah, that's my
Salt.
point. Meaning
Yeah.
Then
you
you'd
have
be
to
taking
put
it
yourself
very.
into
Then you'd be taking
death.
it very seriously if there's a ton of salt.
Yes. Or
'Cause I
meaning
would take a ton of salt very, very seriously because that's a lot of salt
it
to
is a
wade
lot.
through. Yeah.
Turtle Rabbit says, I would love a Super Friends style movie. I'll get you the next time you Super Bobs. Okay. Super Boobs. Yeah. Now that was a lot of fun. Anyway, moving on, whatever. I don't even know if I
Yeah.
believe this because it would have been bigger news. There's no way Robert De
Yeah.
Niro, one of the most famous actors in the world, gets a pipe bomb and everybody isn't talking about it. There's no way. It's
They
nonsense.
were. I think they were talking about it last year.
I never saw
Or
anything about it, dude. Now this article is really
Mhm.
weird to me for a different reason. But go ahead, dude.
Right, so they're talking from Bounty into Comics again.
No.
The first look of Ravagers and Aqualad for DC Universe Titan Season 2 reveal. So their costumes basically are revealed, but when you look at the pictures, it's all blurry.
Yeah, now this is weird. Why would you put out blurry pictures on and make a story about it? There is no story here. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
This is our first look.
That's not a first
Look at
look.
what are we looking at? We're not looking at anything. Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't get it. And why do we need Aqualad? Precisely. And I thought Aqualad was a black dude now. What happened? He's gone back to white dude now? And why do we need female? Well, what do we need a female
That's
version of
because
this? I don't get it.
that's Garth, and also that's Deathstroke's daughter.
Yes, I know.
So Garth
Yeah.
is the white Aqualad. The black one is from Young Justice. That's Calderon. But he's actually one of my favorite.
Yeah, I actually
He's
loved him
definitely
in
my
that
favorite
show. He was
Aqualad.
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great character.
He was, and he's very conflicted. They did a really good arc with that character actually. But then again, that
Absolutely.
show had a lot of great arcs, which is why
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good, right?
And Titans is not.
Well, there you go. They race swapped Aqualad in the Young Justice. No one complained about it because it was great.
Yeah, it was a new character as well.
Well, it was a race
Yeah,
swap,
it
dude.
wasn't. It wasn't Aqualad. I mean, he had the title, but it wasn't actually Aqualad.
No, but it was a really good character. It was really well done with a great arc. It was cool. I liked it.
Mhm.
And let's see. Nick W says this was back in October before the midterms. Chester, yeah, I don't remember seeing it, but I could easily be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. But this is literally like a non-story here. There's literally nothing to talk about. It's like whatever. And
Yeah, I don't even watch the Titans, so
yeah, I
yeah.
didn't do a very good job with that. Booster, give me a better Valley Girl, please.
What am I saying? Valley Girl?
Whatever, like that.
Whatever.
There you go. That was Brie Larson.
Wow,
Full
that's
on, full
awesome.
on. Good job.
That was
Yeah.
perfect.
All right.
Get
Well,
out of here.
moving on.
Oh,
This one
white
is going
men.
to be a lot of fun. We're going to enjoy this one. I know we are.
Terminator
So-
Dark Fate director, why Mackenzie Davis was scared the F out of misogynist. Yeah.
I'm already tired. I'm already terrified of the 12-year-old boy. Yep. Watch me
You know what they
shake.
tend to mix up, Chester?
Mhm.
They tend to mix up fear with disgust quite often. We're not afraid of these changes. They're
No,
disgusting.
it's just
They're
ludicrous.
very different emotions.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me give this a read. Actually, I think this might be worth reading. Get the picture in your eyes. Soak it in, ladies and gentlemen. Soak it in. That is a female, just so you know.
I'm soaking it.
Okay.
Doesn't look like. Oh no.
Director Tim Miller is set to storm Hall H with Terminator Dark Fate, his new vision for the beloved Arnold Schwarzenegger action franchise, which Paramount and Skydance will release in November. The Comic Con vet has not only mounted blockbusters like Deadpool in San Diego, but has also been attending for 25 years. Here's his fanboy battle strategy. How will you win over Hall H with this new take on Terminator? If I was a
Fanboy
nerd,
battle strategy. Imagine straight up just admitting you hate the fans.
right? Yeah. If I was a nerd, and I am, I always imagine reading about plot and story and how I would feel as a fan. I can be objective that way, like I did with Deadpool when I read online. I have to take this seriously. When we announced the film,
It's variety. It's variety. No,
goodness
no, you
gracious,
don't. But go
Terminator
ahead.
6, for F's sake, why don't they let it die? I understand where those people are coming from. It is not great. Then we've had enough. After Deadpool, well, he's really clinging on to that, isn't he? After Deadpool, there was a lot of projects I couldn't choose, but I really wanted to see Linda Hamilton come back to personally continue her story as Sarah Connor. So do I. Like James
Mhm.
Cameron, I always find stories about women are much more interesting than men picking up guns.
So what about Deadpool?
This guy directed Deadpool.
Hold on, wait. I gotta read it again. I'm reading it again. Someone
No.
quote this in the chat. Here we go. I always find stories about women are much more interesting than men picking up guns.
Oh no.
I can see where the
Oh,
creative differences occurred.
I don't understand. What does it matter? Stories about women or stories about men? Stories about characters, you freaking weirdos.
yeah, and besides, these women are going to be carrying all kind of guns. We've seen the trailer,
Who,
so I don't know what
who
the hell you're talking
cares?
about. It's women picking up guns now.
It's
Uh,
yeah. We made it with women instead, so therefore it's better. You guys are
Oh my
weird,
God.
man.
They're sexist, is what they are. Jim's movies are grounded in reality, and characters are just and it just happen to have time travel and robots. Just happen. I'm wired the same way you are. Okay. This guy is so self-absorbed, right? I want to give the audience a story about Sarah and these new characters and make everything else as realistic as possible. I want to sit in the audience and believe that this S shit could happen. Why don't you just spell it? That's how I'm approaching it.
That sounds like Majee's when he was pitching Salvation.
Okay, let's see what Linda
Except it
Hamlin has
wasn't.
said. Hold on, I'm listening.
Gave it some more thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
no,
you
hold on.
really
We're gonna
think?
back it up. We're gonna back it up and see what Linda has
What
to
went
say.
through your head when they're like, "Okay, Linda,
All
we
right.
got to do it again"?
I was like, no, no. And then I gave it some more thought.
Did you really think first right away, like, "No, I can't do this"?
I gave it probably 6 weeks of intense thinking and consideration before deciding to do it.
Why?
Well, I wasn't sure that I wanted to. I didn't want it to look like a shameless money grab. I had to make
Too late.
sure that the script
So
and the
Nick
story
W. So this is what happened to
were going
Macaulay
to
Culkin.
be worthy of carrying on the tale. And I also am living this kind of quiet, lovely life that doesn't involve being like a celebrity. And you really have to think, do I want to trade all that in again
Fair
for
point.
another 15 minutes?
So what convinced you for another 15 minutes?
You notice the boy in the
The
back's breast magically
storyline, because the
reappeared.
script wasn't finished, or really even started. But I decided that it would be interesting with all of those years in between, so many different ways that we could enrich the character's experience piled on top of experience.
Wow, you're really not good at speaking. You're kind of like Obama without a script. That's not good. Um, I don't know what to tell you about this, guys. I didn't. I did enjoy Deadpool a lot. That was a fun. The first one. The second one was all right. But the first one was great fun.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
guy, this Tim Miller, he is an incredibly self-absorbed individual. He really thinks he is special. And that's not a good way to go about things. And all of this nonsense, I didn't even read the whole damn article. I'm not going to. But that first little bit was just a freaking gem. In the, this is a gem. We got to have that, dude. It's wow, dude. Wow.
We're so terrified of these strong women, especially Mackenzie Davis, who looks like a 12-year-old boy who you could probably knock over in one punch. I'm
Well, you,
terrified of her, though.
well, you see how they strapped her boobs down, right? Because we saw in that little
Oh,
vid there that she does have boobs, but they strapped them down. It's the same thing they did with Ray. They did everything they could to remove her breast from that the costume they put on her. I don't know what this trend is to have these boyish female leads. It's like you're sitting here telling me that women can do action as well. Okay, fine, but yet then you're making them as male as possible. I don't get it. If they're supposed to be I am woman hear me roar, so let's bring out a big huge jugged lady and let her jump around the screen bashing shit with her jugs. I mean, if that's the deal, right? What is this
Awesome.
making them male? Because Ray is a very androgynous character. They've taken all her femininity away, and this girl who's a model, she's probably a little shorter than me, but it shows you how little Hollywood people are. But they've taken all her femininity away. So
No,
what's the
no,
deal?
no, it is. Want to know what it is?
What is
It's
it?
not about what women like or appealing to women. It's about what men hate. That's what all this postmodernist crap is. I
Maybe.
don't know why they're doing this specifically, because they think that being spiteful towards men is somehow gonna be beneficial to them. But this is gonna flop hard. I'm pretty sure the other Terminator movie flops.
Hmm.
So I don't know why they're still trying this and why they're doing it this way.
Yeah, well, I'm
I
surprised that they
oh,
came back with it at all. Genesis was a hard fail. And honestly, the series hasn't done really well since the third movie. The third movie wasn't great. The first one was really good. The second one, I argue, is better. Those are great. After that, it hasn't been very good. People hate Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale. I guess I understand some of the critique, but it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. But nevertheless, uh,
Well,
you know,
yeah. I mean, for Salvation, it was a good movie until the third act. It didn't know if it wanted to follow. No, it did know it wanted to follow Marcus as the main hero protagonist. But they had to change the twist that he was going to become John Connor when they grafted his face and body of Christian Bale over his own thing, and the original John Connor would have been killed. And you can see that disconnect between the ending, that they were having in mind and the ending that they shot in the film because of that leak.
oh, I
And
see.
that's
Yeah, no,
why,
that's fair. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, but then again, that movie was also trying to show John Connor before he became John Connor. You know, it was how he became this military leader. And I think choosing Christian Bale, Christian Bale is too much of a leading man, and he's a little bit older. If you wanted to represent that, they should have went with someone who was could be seen as less inspiring, less charismatic, and then by the end of the movie becomes something. That I think was a problem as well.
I have a completely
Uh,
different take on this,
Okay.
100%. And John Connor was the mindset of being a military general or just a badass and taking charge. That was established in Terminator 2 when he was a kid. There's no way he would have grew to be a wimp and then had to relearn what he had learned in Terminator 2. And that's what I found very distasteful with that particular movie is that
Judgment Day.
yeah, he was already a badass as a kid, and all of a sudden he became a weak-willed, and then he had to relearn to be a badass again. That just didn't jive at all.
Oh, I see. You're talking about what they did with him in Judgment Day, and then how they reinterpreted it later. I get it. Okay.
Right.
Um, so let's see. Fantasy fulfillment dominate women with guns. Yeah, that's a funny statement because it's like men with guns. Well, this movie's full of women with guns. What are you talking about? Androgynize. Been a trend in fashion for 30 years. Now it's just mainstream. Yep, you're right, Argos. I haven't talked to you in a while, Bill. But Toro Robbins says he has to say these talking points if he wants to work. Articles like this are litmus tests for a woke culture. Maybe, but it sounds like
Maybe.
he's all on board with himself, though. I mean, how many times do you talk about me, and then me? I mean, honestly, could happen to me. Look at me,
He
right?
does that quite often when he was promoting Deadpool as well. Who's going on about how was it Ryan Reynolds is great when he's working with the best, and I'm the best. You know, stuff like that.
Okay, now look at this statement right here. This I think is very interesting. Take a look at this little statement right here. All right.
If you're at all enlightened, she'll play like gangbusters. If you're a closet misogynist, she'll scare the out of you
Wow.
because she's tough and strong, but very feminine.
That's
Really?
bullshit. That is bullshit.
Yeah, look how bloody feminine she is. Yeah, look how much of a girly girl I am.
Look how it continues, though. We did not trade gender traits for others. She's just very strong, and that frightens some dudes. Well, first of all, no, it doesn't. Men tend to like a strong woman if she's a woman. That's not even close to being true. This guy is obviously hanging out in the wrong loafers. I'm thinking, but what is it? I mean, look, they're already pre setting my brain, they're already preparing themselves to be able to argue why the movie fails. If you are at all enlightened, right? So if you don't like this movie, you're not enlightened, really. You're going to
You're
try to
also a
use the
troll.
enlightenment to apply to your Terminator fantasy movie, really.
Mm-hmm.
hmm But this statement right there is she's tough, she's strong, but very feminine. hmm hmm
Mm-hmm.
Very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's super feminine. It's all about
Spec.
the feminine. Because even if we come
Mm-hmm.
down here and we look at this again, let me get rid of this and play this again here.
And that
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now
weeks
look,
of
pay attention to her in the
Instagram,
background. Where does
I
she
had to
come up
make
here?
sure that
Right here. All right. Watch
I'll
where she comes
convince
up.
you
Look at
for
the girl in
another
the back.
15 minutes.
All right. First of all, her
um,
body's a little more feminine. Look at her face. She's very
the
masculine. It's a
storyline
very
because the script
male
wasn't
jaw. She's
finished,
not attractive in the least,
or
although she
really
seems
even
to have a bubbly,
started.
happy personality,
But
though.
I
All
decided
right.
that it would be
But even
interesting
when
with
she's,
all of those
we don't
years
need
in
to hear you, Linda. Even when she's being very feminine, she's still kind of hard to look at. But at least she is feminine. This is not this. This is extremely masculine. And of course, she's going to be playing very robotic and stuff because she's a Terminator of some kind, I'm sure. It's just the ridiculousness, these people. And, I guess I can hope it's a good movie because if it is a good movie, I'll watch it, right? But
No, I doubt it because if you're like you mentioned, if he's already making those statements, it's the Pony and Dan show where he's already prepping us. It's a primer for
it is.
a sign that it's not going to be a good movie at all.
Yeah. No,
It's going to
they're
be
preparing.
Ghostbuster.
They're preparing their argument of why it failed. Right. It's always the
Yeah.
fans' fault, which is quite the interesting modern development. Right. You would never hear Hollywood of the past blame the fans for anything. What they would do is apologize. Right. But these days, if the movie fails, it's because of us. It's our fault. Right.
Dibbler's Bottom just said she looks like Logan Paul with tits. The
She
thing is,
she
she doesn't
does
have
actually.
tits.
She kind
She
of
just looks
does.
like Logan Paul.
Well, she does,
Oh
right? She does kind of
no,
look like a Logan Paul. Now, talk about a
does.
vapid, absolute, feckless piece of crap that guy is. But
Yeah,
she does
yeah.
look like Logan Paul. That's another
Oh,
thing is, you know, this isn't new, but it just seems to be an increasing number of very vapid people these days. More and more and more. It's not like we didn't see it before. We certainly had it. I mean, that was the whole joke about the Valley Girl. That's the joke of it, is that they're vapid, brainless, useless humans, right? But it seems that that has become, instead of being a meme, because we had memes in the past too, by the way, young peoples.
Uh huh.
But
Uh huh.
yeah, yeah.
we did, and but that's the whole point of the meme. But now the meme has become reality. Really?
Hmm.
There it is,
And celebrated, it seems.
and celebrated. It seems.
Yep.
So everyone who's got to go see this movie, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, I'm counting him. Raise them up. Damn it! I was the only one holding my hand up. It's a horrible
Oh,
world.
don't do that.
Anyway, well, that's what we got here for today, guys. Short news day, of course. Well, we want to get out of the way for a Black Loose universe, of course. Let me come over
Mm.
here and get rid of this. And no. All right, here we go. But so we're going to be ending up here in a moment. But anybody have any closing statements or any kind of little bit of news tidbits or anything else they want to say?
Did you see Brie Larson's Instagram like they were talking about earlier?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show with to put Brie Larson in Star Wars. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Well,
I don't
no,
think she's actually gonna be in Star Wars. I think she's just dressing up in Star Wars, and we're all falling for someday.
yeah, no. I think what happened was Disney
Yeah.
thought had a great idea. We need to promote ticket sales for Galaxy's Edge. Let's get Brie Larson to go down and walk around in a Jedi outfit, and and millions will come. Millions will come.
Who- Who's
That's
the
what
most
it was.
likable actress today? Huh.
She is, yeah, the
Keanu
best, the
Reeves?
best.
Gal Gadot? No. Brie Larson.
Now, there's the thing, though, right? If they did bring in Gal Gadot or Scarlett Johansson or something like that, as far as a
Mm.
female, that probably would have played a lot better. But if you got Keanu Reeves to walk around your damn park, dude, there would be millions on the way.
Have you seen these
Actually, to
photoshops?
be fair, they had Tom Holland and some of the cast of Spider-Man 2 walk around the Disney parks. In fact, Tom Holland was in Spider-Man costume doing acrobats, and people didn't really think it
Yeah, I
was
saw that.
the Tom Holland. Yeah,
Yeah,
until he took a mask.
he is
That's
very
great.
acrobatic. What were you trying to say, Booster?
I was gonna say, have you seen Keanu Reeves photoshopped as Revan? It's
Photoshopped
incredible.
his what?
As
Yes.
Revan,
Oh,
character from one of
photoshopped
the
as
Star Wars
Revan.
video games. Yeah,
I haven't.
great.
Let me try. I'm gonna go ahead and check it.
Yeah. And while you
Rev.
guys are doing that, uh, talking about the parks, since we're on that topic, Disney's bashing the theme park bloggers that follows and covers their theme parks because they're telling the truth, saying that they're unreliable. You shouldn't listen to them. There's nothing to see here, um, especially when they're pointing out, look, it's a ghost town. Um, if one of the major things they were talking about that the article was talking about, the blogger was saying you have to reserve a spot to do the lightsabers for $200, right?
Yeah.
They would charge that to your credit card, and if you're late, that you would not get a lightsaber, and they would still charge you the $200 because of that agreement. But
Mhm.
here's the caveat: they don't explain what late means.
Oh, I see.
Meaning, are you late 5 minutes? Are you late 15 minutes? Are you late an hour? No. They could say, "You're late a minute. Here's $200 in our pockets."
Well, and the other problem with it is a lot of people are getting these lightsabers and they're complaining because they're pieces of junk. They break. They don't even make them out of the park with them working. It's literally a piece of junk that you pay $200 for.
They
And
are. I've
that's
seen
another
videos of
problem,
them.
right?
They are. And here's a spin on the Disney parks right now, specifically the Star Wars attraction, being a ghost town, is that apparently it may not be because people are not interested in going to see it. People are just not going to see it because they are expecting that there will be so many people lined up for it that they're just waiting their time to go further down in time, so
Sure.
maybe a month from now, and that,
Excuses.
that could be
Yeah.
that could be why.
No, it's excuses, George. What we're seeing here is the Trump effect. People don't say nothing, and then they just do what they do. People are sick and tired what Disney's done. There's a lot of people that are very, very upset about The Last Jedi, actually. I've mentioned this a few times, but I'll say it again. My wife is a bigger Star Wars fan than I am, and it's the first movie she ever saw in her life. She loves Star Wars, and she, after watching that Last Jedi, emphatically said she'll never watch another Star Wars again. She's done. And I guarantee you, there are a lot of Americans and people outside of America. Keep in mind, my wife is Japanese, right? That have made the same decision, right? Because it was so offensive. That movie was so offensive that they're just done. And I think that's what you're seeing, George. You're seeing, but then also there's other factors to bring in. California is absolutely in disaster right now. There are homeless people in tents on every street. There are drugs. There's shit on the street. There's needles everywhere, and the taxes have been raised through the roof. It's getting worse and worse and worse. If you live in California and you actually are an honest person who goes out and works and makes money, you need to get out. And they are getting out. They're all leaving in mass. So you also have this, uh, you know, economic and political situation as well that's certainly adding on top of it. And I think it's just all coming home. I think it's just starting to, come together in this perfect storm of destruction. You think California has another 10 years in it the way it is? No way, no way. And of course, we
Yeah,
do know that
I
coming up
see your
next
point.
year, they have that referendum where they want to vote to remove themselves from America. I hope they do.
Yeah, that'll go really well. I mean, yeah, sure. Succeed from America, please.
Mhm. Then we
Yeah,
could send the
let's
army
let's
in and
let's
clean it
let's
up a
see
little
them
bit.
plant. Let's see them plant fields and crops and all that stuff in the wasteland that right now is the charred forest. Oh, that'll go well.
Yeah, no, and I think that's part of it as well. But then again, the problem is it is in a bad way. You're right, Nick. But from what I understand, because we keep talking about Disneyland, but from what I understand, Disney World is not doing well either. And of course, that's in
Nope.
Florida, and there's no issues there. But I don't know. But here's that Keanu Reeves' Revan. It looks all right. But Keanu Reeves, but you can't put him into a role where he has to speak much. I don't know this Revan character really well. I think isn't that like the Old Republic or something?
Yeah, it was the main
Yeah, one of
character
those
of the Old
games.
Republic, and he didn't talk.
Mhm. So there you go.
It was
There you go.
it
Perfect,
was a
perfect for Keanu Reeves. But
yeah.
anyway, I
I
think
just
that's
say we
pretty.
should just cast him as everything. Make him the next Little Mermaid for all I care.
That would be funny. Kiss the girl. Oh my God.
Come on, mate. Give us a smooch then.
Right. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, definitely go check out the Pro Edition of Drone Recorder, which is coming up in an hour of Blacklist Universe. Definitely go support that. And of course, Jiminy Cricket is the Fan Edition representative. So go and support Jiminy as well. We always want to see the Fan Edition people do well. And of course, Jimmy's a great artist. The only thing is he can't finish a damn piece. Whatever. But
There's something
yeah.
to say about men who struggle finishing.
Oh my God. I'm going to tell him that
Mm.
you said that. I'm going to send him. I'm sending a tweet right
Do it.
now. I'm doing it.
Do
I'm
it.
doing it. All right. But thank you guys very much. Do keep in mind that tomorrow, of course, we have another comics news, and then we will be doing we will be doing the fan edition, and who we drawing tomorrow? Um, I
I believe it's Niobe.
no,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
Niobe.
Niobe. It's not. It's
No,
somebody
it's
else.
not
No,
Niobe.
Let me
Uh-oh.
bring this up real
Uh-oh.
quick. I shut my Discord down. I need to turn it back on.
Yeah, it's Niobe. No, wait, no.
It's not.
That's July 18th. Then what
Yeah.
are we doing?
I'm going to tell you in a second. I just had to turn my Discord back on.
Oh,
Uh,
panic!
but no, Niobe is coming, which is going to be cool. That's an interesting character. But no, it's not. Let me come down here real quick. Here we go.
I'm
And
panicking.
Wait,
here we
wait.
go.
Didn't we have? I think we
So
had
that's the
him on our
18th. Let's see here. Oh
July.
yeah, there we have Ben Henderson coming with Off-World,
Yep.
and
Ah,
I don't know if Mike McMahon will show up or not, but we'll definitely have Ben Henderson there, and that we got a good lineup too. We got Matt coming back to do. We got E Hawkins. We got Ghost of Henry, Rabbit Comics, and we have a couple of hopefully a couple of newbies. But so that is a really killer artist lineup. Just those four guys that are
yeah.
really high end.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll get Jim O'Reilly back in there.
Oh,
Maybe
I'd
one
love
day we'll have Weldon come back and grace us with his presence again. Who knows?
that.
Shinobi Raccoon is sitting in here. We also have Tomato King and Zero to Comics. Maybe those guys will show up as well. But we're really happy with going on with that, as of course. Anyway, that's enough of me babbling. And take it out here. Take us out of here, Dinale.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for Comics News Today. Join us tomorrow for Thursday's Comics News Today, and followed by the Drawn Core Fan Edition. Join up on my newsletter at dinalescomics@gmail.com for upcoming news. Be the first to get those exclusives once I start rolling those out. And like always, your perception shapes your reality. So always make it a good one.
Namaste.
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 Later, guys.
Aloha.